Shalom, shalom. It's the brother Wiz.
Shalom, shalom. It's the brother Shemabu. All
All right, and today we going into, as you see the title, hey, I discovered this truth, but now what? Okay, I know that the so-called black people are the real Jews, and I'm a so-called black person, but now what? What do I do with that information? Do I just go tell my friends? Do I make a Facebook post? And these are all valid questions because you don't know. You have to be taught. And that actually leads me to my very first point that I want to make. The first thing you need to do is get under somebody who knows more than you do. That's the first thing you need to do. Everybody in this truth has a mentor. Everybody. Don't let no man tell you that he taught himself the understanding of the scriptures, because that man is bearing false witness. Right? I want to get this precept in Sirach, chapter 6, in verse number 36. It says, "And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door." Right. So what we supposed to be doing? You see somebody, um, you might run into us at camp, and you might stand there and listen to what we saying for a good 20, 30 minutes. We done had people, man, they'll stay out there as long as we out there. 2, 3 hours they standing out there listening. All right. And they just out there asking questions. Okay, well, what does this say? What does the Bible say about that? Right? This could be somebody who never read the Bible in their life. Or they maybe ain't read the Bible since they was in church, maybe 15, 20 years ago. But now they got these questions because they see men of understanding. And they getting betimes unto them. Right? But with that, I yield.
okay, that's right. That's a mighty first point. You do have to be with somebody that obviously knows more than you and that's sincere, right? So you can learn. You know, coming in this thing, it's gonna be a lot to learn, and you don't want to reach for the, you know, just the deep things, but you need to be staying in the milk. So I'm gonna bring out Sirach chapter 3 and verse 21. It says, "Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength." So once you come in this thing, you may see brothers, bringing out mighty precepts, and they get into the secrets. They starting to know who is who from just finding out all type of crazy things and just finding out the dark secrets of the Most High God. But that's not your time yet. That's out of the Lord. So you want to seek out things that's above your strength, right? Verse 22, it says, "But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret." Right? So you don't want to seek things that's not needful for you to see. That's up to the Most High if He wants you to see those things, if He want to give you that type of understanding. It's all in due time, right? Because you'll get bugged out. So you got to go to the milk first, all right? Bring another precept and you got to, because we babes in this thing, man. You're going to stay a babe. I mean, the Lord doesn't give knowledge to the wise, right? He doesn't give. For one, He not going to trust you if you're so wise, all right? This book of First Peter chapter 2, verse 2, it says, "A newborn babe desire the sincere milk of the word." Right? I'm gonna read that again. "As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby." So that's how you're gonna grow in this thing as a babe. You're not gonna grow just eating meat and you just coming in this thing. And now you coughing and throwing up things that you can't digest, right? So you gotta stay in the milk first and foremost. But you gotta
And it's crazy that the brother said that he in the spirit, man, because I was about to go, I'm still go to Matthew chapter 18, where Christ literally was saying what Peter was repeating. All right, I'm gonna go to Matthew chapter 18 and verse number, we can start at number 1. "At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them. And he said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven." And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me. Right? So you have to really, a lot of times, this is another thing to remember when you first coming into the truth and you first starting to learn who you are and learn what you're supposed to be doing. You have to be able to read scriptures and break them down properly. Right? There is a reason Yahushua used a child in this example. Right? Now, there are children all over the world. There are children in Australia, children in Russia, France, America, you name it. Now, show me one child who decided, who chose what language they were taught. Doesn't work that way. A child listens to what you say, and they just have to do it. They have to repeat it. They learn to walk. They didn't sit down at the drawing board with a crayon and figure out how to walk. They watched you do it. So becoming a little child is literally, okay, everything I think I know, I throw that out the window. I don't get, okay, pastor taught me that God love everybody. Hey, throw that out the window. Pastor taught me that all I got to do is praise and worship and give to that collections plate. He gonna bring out 2 Corinthians 9:7. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. Throw that out the window. You have to become like a little child. How many when anybody with kids, anybody with nephews, little cousins around that 2 or 3 area, you know, kids ask questions nonstop. I mean, it is not, you couldn't pay them kids in candy to stop asking you questions, right? We, as people in the truth, so like you as people that's just coming into this truth, you have to be willing to ask a million. You got to almost get on them, but get on my nerves. If you got my social media, you got my number, you got a question, I need you to blow my phone up. And this is something I can attest to because this is something I did before I even knew that I was supposed to do it. You know, I saw, this was around like summer of 2022. I ran into brothers outside doing the work, and I asked a few questions, exchanged information with the brother, got his Instagram, and man, for about 3-4 months, I wish the brother was here to attest to it. I'm just asking question after question. What about this? What about that? I even call his phone. What you think about this? You know what I'm saying? Did I mess up doing that? Right? You have to humble yourself as a little child. I mean, kid, like you have to really put your mind in the mind frame of a child. Like, and kids don't care who's watching them. Man, a kid can do their little dance, and you might be the weirdest dance you ever seen. They don't care who looking at them. They don't care what nobody think. They just doing them. They focused on what they focused on. Being as a little child in this world, you got to do your dance in this truth. You don't care what your mama say about it. You don't care what your girl got to say about it. You know what I'm saying? You don't care what your friends, you in that Bible stuff now. Somebody said that to me before. You read the Bible now. You feel what I'm saying? You're going to get a lot of that. But you got to be like that little child, man. Children be in their own world. When they focused on something, that's what they focused on. Be that same way. But you got it.
That's right, man. We babes in this thing. I'm gonna feed off that again through the spirit. Matthew 11 and verse 25. It says, "At that time, Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes." So this truth, he revealed them unto the babes, man. Knowing who you are, knowing who your forefathers is, right? All the secrets of the Most High, how to please him. Those little things, how to please the Most High, the people that's not in the truth don't know. Jake and Eve don't know how to please the Most High. So only the babes know. And if you just coming in this thing, you don't know how to please the Most High. That's how you know you searching things that are true. You don't need to be searching for, because you gotta learn how to crawl before you walk. You gotta learn how to run before you start. Damn, you know what I'm saying? You gotta learn how to run. You gotta learn how to walk before you run. Salakia. So you gotta take it, step by step, right? So I got another point too. You gotta be humble, because when you come in this thing, you don't know nothing. Like, you gotta cast off literally everything that you knew. You got literally, I mean, like, even brothers that's been in this thing for 5 years, 3, 4, just 10, they still have to cast off things that they thought they knew. because you may have an understanding on the precept, but that may not be the spirit. You may have an understanding on the precept, you may have it, through the spirit or something like that, but it could be double fold and you don't know that. So you gotta humble yourself, man, because you don't know anything. Let's get to that. First Peter. All right. First Peter chapter 5. Right. This is the book of First Peter chapter 5 and verse 5. Right. And this goes into uh, um, submitting to your elders or submitting to a brother that knows more than you so you can learn. Because you gotta humble yourself, right? This is the book of First Peter chapter 5, verse 5. It says, likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Ye all of you be subject one to another and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble. Right? So you got to submit yourself. And when you submit yourself to the brother, and people in the world, they think like you just a cat. I'm gonna say it that manner. Think you a kitten, man. That's not what it is. When you do those type of things and have that meek type of spirit, the Lord is pleased with that, and you end up finding out things another brother can get. Right? So you gotta be humble. Where I'm gonna read on down to that. It says, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. See that? In due time. The Lord is all about timing. So you don't want to come in this thing and think that you just gonna know everything. Cause at that point, you don't even have a sincere spirit in this thing. You coming in this thing trying to be head honcho. Kobe wasn't Kobe Bryant when he just automatically came into the league. That took time. Right? Jordan wasn't Jordan when he came to the league. You know what I'm saying? It took time. Right? Trying to win a championship, that takes time. Trying to get the kingdom, that takes time. There's so much things we got to go through, man. So you have to be able to cast things off and be humble. Right? But you gotta
That's right, man. It's really, as y'all can see, we constantly saying, let go of what you know or what you think you know. Because it's a saying in the world, like, you can't be taught nothing if you think you know everything. You know what I'm saying? How in the world, if you are convinced in your mind that 2 + 2 is 5, I can't do nothing with you. I can't set out, okay, 2 pencils over here, 2 pencils over here, and have you count them one by one. Because you're going to imagine that 5th pencil in your head and you're going to make it 5 because that's what you convinced yourself that it is. No matter what I tell you or what I show you. That's why the Lord Yahushua said you have to humble yourself as this little child, right? Now, part of humbling yourself is this right here. Let's see what the mighty brother Paul said. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? Don't you know yourself? You know good and well that you like to eat. You know good and well that you like those promiscuous women. You know good and well that you like to smoke. Don't you know yourself? Don't you know that you have an anger issue? Don't you know that you have a problem with being contentious, with always arguing with people? It seems like every time you come around, you debating somebody. You know what's wrong with you. You have to examine yourself. This is one of the hardest parts of the truth, right? Because it's easy for me to tell Shamal Wall, hey, you going off, you doing this, you doing that. Hey, get it together. You know what I'm saying? Kind of muffle inside his head. But can you do that to yourself, though? That's where true strength comes in, right? Examining yourself, telling yourself, you know what? I do be looking at brothers' wives too much. You know, man, I do be kind of getting tempted by that pork. Man, anytime I get around weed, I just feel the need to smoke. Right? You have to examine yourself. You got to know what's good for you and what's not. It's a precept that Yahushua said. I'm gonna try to find it, where he was talking about cut off your right hand. If your right eye offends you, pluck it off. And what he was saying was not to literally get the chopping stuff off of your body, but you have to be willing to let any and everything go if it's getting in your way, right? Because it's different for everybody. And that just made me think of a precept. Everybody is different. You know, this brother might deal with it might be real hard for him not to cook on the Sabbath. You know, maybe he just he not that good at fasting. He not that good at he not built up enough to be cool with just eating some food that he got to make cold. My thing might be, I got a problem hating brothers in my heart. I just, for some reason, I got this spirit where it's just, I don't be liking people if they do me wrong, or if I feel like they do me wrong. You have to know yourself, right? I want to get the book of Sirach, chapter 37, and verse number 27. Or we usually use this on one fold, but I'm going to use it on another. It's Sirach 37 and 27. My son, prove thy soul and thy life, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. All right, so that part is plain. You know, it's certain brothers, they can't have Instagram. Like, the brothers just raised, certain brothers, they know, nah, that Instagram, that Twitter. Listen, if you got Twitter, anybody out here who got Twitter nowadays, you know what I'm about to say. Boy, you better have the strongest spirit in the truth to be on Twitter. Because, man, I don't even want to overthrow brothers. I'm just telling you. Stay off of Twitter if you don't have a strong enough spirit. You know, certain people, hey, you might get distracted too easy. You might have to be one of them people. You got to set, okay, when I get off of work at 3 p.m., I get home at 3:30. From 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., my phone is going on airplane mode. That might be what you need to do. Other brothers, man, they could be at a cracking feast day. I'm talking about, man, bottles getting popped, music getting played, and they could do a full breakdown by themselves off to the side. But it depends on what works for you, right? I'm going to read this verse again. Sirach chapter 37 and verse 27. My son, prove thy soul in thy life. Worry about your soul and your life. Don't worry about what I'm doing. Oh, the brother Wiz the servant off that one YouTube channel said he can do this, so maybe I can do it. And now you overthrown because you're trying to do what I do. You don't know me. You know what I'm saying? But you know yourself. I'm going to continue reading on. It says, and see what is evil for it, and give not that unto it. Verse 28. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything. And when you first come into the truth, this is your time. A brother told me this, and it was one of the mightiest things I ever heard. When you first come into the truth, that's your time to be selfish. And when you really sit down and think about it, it's true. All you can think about is, what do I have to do to make sure I'm right? Okay, it's about what I gotta learn. It's about me coming to class. It's about me coming to camp. It's about me. Okay, maybe I got kids and a wife at home. It's about me teaching my kids and my wife. It's all about you when you first come in. And it's not in like a self-centered, prideful way. It's like I have to take care of myself in order to take care of everybody else. And I'm gonna end it off with this point. Anybody who's ever been on the airplane, you know, the airplane lady, what they call them, the stewardess, is that what it's called? Let's just say the stewardess. You know, she got the little gas mask and she's showing you how to hook everything up. But one thing they always say is to put your own mask on before you help the person next to you. Because the way that the brain works, if it loses too much oxygen, you won't even be able to function well enough to help anybody or yourself. So you have to help yourself first. You got to connect your gas mask, make sure you get air, make sure everything is pumping, so you can help this person with a clear mind. How, now let's apply that exact analogy to the truth. How am I just going to be coming into the truth and I'm telling everybody else, hey, you need to do this. Nah, I think you would improve more if you did that. You know what I'm saying? And you're not even rooted yet. You don't even understand what the fear of the Lord is yet. You haven't even read a lot. You don't even know you can't eat pork yet. You just learned about the truth yesterday. You feel what I'm saying? So, like the brother said earlier in Sirach chapter 3 and verse 21, don't seek things that's too hard for you. It should not be difficult when you first come into the truth. It shouldn't be strenuous. It should be almost joyous. Man, okay, wow. This precept says, Deuteronomy 7 and 6 says, my nation is above all people that's on the face of the earth. Wow. Christ said, you know what I'm saying? This and that, I came for my people. You know, the Most High said, I am the Lord thy God, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Wow. That's what you should be for. You shouldn't be, if you don't got that spirit to deal with the not so joyous parts of this thing, you shouldn't be there. Right? Do the things, prove your own soul. But with that, I'll pass it to the brother though.
Come, man. And like on top of that, you're gonna have to consistently do that. It's not just one time. Because I mean these spirits is not gonna stop, right? That's one thing when I came into truth, I didn't think of that. You know, you come in and the most high, you know, he casts the spirits off you, you know, everybody got that, man. They on fire, they saying no, no, no. You realize that you're gonna have to say no, I don't know how many times. To yourself. To yourself. You really saying no to yourself more than you say no to somebody else. You saying no to yourself more than you say no to somebody else. So you got to find out what's pleasing to the Lord and what's evil for you. And what's evil for you, you have to say no to the old man consistently. You come in this thing, right? So I'm gonna go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. It says, "And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell." Right? So well, your right eye, if I'm not mistaken, that's your strong eye. It's literally true, because I wear glasses. So if I cover my eye, hey, I damn near can see better than my left. So you gotta cast that, off. They could Your right eye can be anything, man. Somebody out there, they deep lust is pork. It's some people that got trouble eating pork. Somebody is that backwood. Somebody is playing a game. Somebody is that they love to watch movies. Yes, that's a spirit. They watch movies back to back to back. And it's not even new movies out. It's not even the new movies that come out. It's the old one. It's the Friday after next and next Friday and like Mike. It's all those. They got a spirit. They keep watching it. It's distracting them from the Lord. So you got to see what's evil for you and cast out that right eye. And you got to do it multiple times. Because Yahweh Shah never sinned. And he said no to himself. And I'm pretty sure he might know the number. He said no to himself. So you have to say no consistently, right? I can go. I can go on that. I'm gonna go to 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10. Right? It says, "Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For ye do these things, ye shall never fall." Right? So you gotta make your calling and election sure. Nobody can do that for you. Nobody can put your crown on for you. Matter of fact, nobody can keep your crown on for you. You have to do that yourself, you know, behind closed doors. So this is why we brought out that you gotta literally humble yourself. You know, you don't want to think you know everything. You gotta literally cast out everything. Especially you, damn, you was 25 coming in this thing, you know, or this man out here that came in the truth at 50. They gotta, you know how much junk they got inside of them, man? They gotta cast out all of it. You a newborn babe in this thing. You don't know nothing. In the years that you get in this thing, you still don't know anything. So you have to find out what's pleasing and what's evil for you, right? For the Lord, basically, right? I got one more precept, then you got it off. I'm gonna go to First Peter real quick. First Peter chapter 4, verse 1. Cause I mean, obviously, you have to search out your forefathers as well, and look at their traits. You know, that you can apply to yourself, because you can't look at other people's traits in the world. Yeah, you may can learn from them because they doing bad, but it's not a lot of people with righteous traits in the world. It's a small percentage of that. So you have to look at your forefathers, what King David, Solomon. I mean, he desired wisdom. In a sincere spirit, he asked for wisdom, right? It wasn't for filthy lucre. He didn't pray for riches or anything of that matter. He really was trying to help his nation. You know, things like that, you should qualify that to your, you know, in your lifestyle, right? Your character, right? So this First Peter chapter 4, verse 1, it says, "For as much Then, as a Mashiach had suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind, right? So we have to have the same mind as Yahweh Bashem Yahushua and our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they was hard-working men and very humble, right? And Noah as well, man. That's our forefather. So you have to have the same mind as them. Work hard and abstain from pleasure, man. Consistently. It doesn't stop. That's like really the main focus you need to focus on is really building yourself up, casting off all the worldly things that you have inside of you, right? You know, and humbling yourself. I'm gonna keep reading on. For he that has suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin, right? So you have to cease from sin. Because once you find out all the things that you've been doing, hey man, you should be like, hey, yeah, this, yeah. Because everything in the Bible is literally you. Every wicked thing that's in the Bible, you done it. And if anybody say they haven't, they lying. They lying. The murmuring, right? The committing adultery, the everything. We've done it. So you have to literally cast that off. Have the same mind as, you know, our forefathers. Yahweh Shah. But you got to
So like I wanted to go into, you know, now that we built it up, we done did the good warm up on where your mind should be. You know what I'm saying? Your mind should be focused. You should be able to cast off anything that's keeping you from getting closer to your God, from learning more about your people, your history, this, that, and the third. But now, what exactly should you be studying, right? What exactly should you focus on? I mean, this is a huge book. My book has over 770 pages in it, right? That's a lot of pages. You know, you have certain people, they want to jump straight into prophecy. Certain people, they want to jump straight into this. They want to jump straight into that, right? But we have to understand what the foundation of the truth is, right? The foundation of the truth. Let's see what our forefather King Solomon said. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. This is all you need to know. That's what that means. The conclusion of this whole thing, all you need to be focused on. Young sister, young brother, elder sister, elder brother, new in the truth. This is what you should be focused on. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. That's it. He didn't say do a triple backflip, swanton bomb, Jeff Hardy style off of a cliff into the water like they do at the Olympics, trying to get points on the diving. You don't have to do nothing. He didn't tell you that you had to get up and move out of your city. He didn't tell you had to quit your job. He didn't tell you you had to go sell your car. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say these things. So like, let me add the brother back.
say, man.
It's all good. But he didn't tell us to do anything else except fear him and keep his commandments. Now, the natural question after that should be, okay, how do I fear him and how do I keep the commandments? Because if I do those two things, that's all I got to do. So if I do these two things, I'm good. All right, bet. Now I want to learn, right? And we're here to teach you. Now, to fear the Most High, you have to know what fearing the Lord is, right? And King Solomon himself gave you a precept for that, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 9. So like the page is sticking. Proverbs chapter 9 and verse number, I might want Proverbs chapter 1. Let me see.
You want 10? Proverbs chapter 9 and 10?
Like, I'm gonna get Proverbs just 1 and 7.
Okay.
The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right? So despise and wisdom and instruction. I mean, the Bible is instruction. The commandments are command. If I command somebody to do something, I'm instructing them to do something. Right? So even the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. You don't know anything until you fear the Lord. Fear, if you're scared of something, let's just use the word fear. If you're scared of something, if I'm afraid of the police, I mean, they could throw me in jail. They could take my life. They could plant something in my car. They could snatch me up out my car. They could detain me for 48 hours for no reason. It's a lot of reasons to fear them. But if you don't know the reasons to fear the Most High, how could you? That's just not realistic, right? You know what I'm saying? So you have to read your Bible to learn why you should fear the Most High. Look at what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah and tell me you still want to be a rainbow boy after that. You know what I'm saying? Revile the gods if you want to. After you read what happened to Korah and them 250 princes coming up against Moses. You know, we didn't just come up with the fear of the Lord just because we know we Israelites. We went into these accounts like, wow, that's crazy. When you realize Deuteronomy 28 and 68 has came to fruition, the whole world knows it happened, and they know exactly who it happened to. And you know the Lord said, I'm the one who's going to do it to you. That's when you start to develop that fear. But you have to read. And that's why I said fear God and keep his commandments. His commandments are in the first 5 books, right? Now let's get one of those commandments so you can see, okay, what are these things that I have to keep along with that fear of God so that I can be complete, right? This is Exodus chapter 20. This is the first of the 10 commandments. This is the one they had hanging up in your church downstairs in the basement in the kids' church on the door. As soon as you was about to walk in, they had the 10 commandments that nobody was keeping, but they had them up there. The first one, let's see what the Lord said. Exodus chapter 20 and verse number 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right? Now, if you look into this word gods, I wish I had a laptop so I could pull up the blue letter, but it means rulers or powers. Right? It says, thou shalt have no other rulers or powers before me. Right? Now, if the Lord, I'm going to read verse 2, just so we can get the context of why he said that, because he gave you a reason why you should not put none before him. It says, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So y'all know that Egypt, that horrible 430-year-long slavery y'all went through, I brought y'all out of that. That's what the Most High is saying. So you better not put nothing before me, right? Now, a lot of brothers, your God is your woman, and you don't think so. Your woman could say one thing to you, now you're not coming to camp. Oh, do you have to go to the feast day? Oh, do you got to study right now? You've been gone all day. I mean, you can still go to camp, but we can get it in right quick, baby. They won't know. And you might fall to that. That might, because your woman is your God. Your woman rules you. When the Most High said, you better not come to my camp unclean. Or your grandma. A lot of y'all be in that grandma spirit, man. Whatever your grandma say, hey, grandma said it. Grandma cooked them pork chops on a Saturday, on a Sabbath. And she invites you over. And she try to guilt trip you into doing it because you saying, no, grandma, I can't eat pork no more. Oh, and she try to make it seem like you don't love her. Hey, brothers know what I mean. It might be that money. Hey, soon as you come in the truth trying to keep commandments, now all of a sudden, hey, people at your job, you might see it might be a Jewish dude get hired at your job and you got to train him. You just learned Revelation 2 and 9. You know what I'm saying? That these people done stole our stuff. Now you got to train one of them, right? And you might absolutely be overthrown by your anger. Your anger could be your God. Your emotion. Listen, emotions is one of the biggest gods in Israel. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I mean, that crash out spirit is heavy because the Most High does not deal with crash outs. I'm gonna just tell you that right now. Hotheads, people who get angry quickly, putting your emotions over what the Most High said is a good way for you to find yourself out of the truth. I have seen it with my own 2 eyes. You know what I'm saying? I done had situations where I allow my emotions to overcome what the Most High said, and he jammed me up for it. So follow the first commandment. It literally says, put nothing before me. If the Most High said in Matthew chapter 10, I'm going to get this last precept, brother, and you got it. The Most High said through his son in Matthew chapter 10 and verse, I'm going to get Luke. I'm gonna get Luke chapter 12. It's the same account, but I like Luke, how they word it. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 51. These letters are red. Lord willing, y'all can see that. That means that the Lord is talking. Yahweh Shai is speaking. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? I tell you, nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father. The mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother. The mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Now really sit back and understand that this is why we told you at the beginning, you gotta become as a baby, throw out everything you know. You didn't know probably that Yahweh Shalom. You didn't know Jesus moved like that, who y'all call Jesus. You thought that Jesus came for you and your mother-in-law to be kumbaya. Nope, he said, I came to separate y'all. 5 people in one house, 2 against 3. 2 of them gonna keep commandments, the other 3 gonna cook pork on the Sabbath. Somebody gotta win. That's how it was set up. You have to understand you're gonna have to fight. You think the Lord would have to tell you not to put another God before him if it wasn't easy to put another God before him? Why would he have to tell you? If it was just so natural for you to listen to the Most High instead of what you want to do, whatever God is over you, whatever is ruling you, why would he have to tell you the very first commandment, don't put that over me? You know, the brothers put 2K over the Most High. Man, don't be that brother, man, making excuses for why you can't come to camp just because you know that that new NCAA 25. They've been talking just because that game dropped. Now all of a sudden, hey, I ain't gonna be able to make it to camp for this and that reason. Kind of find out, brother at home trying to get his player to a 99 overall. What is that? Brothers at camp, they like, where the brother Tavares? Where the brother John? Don't let that be you. Right? If the Most High literally got you sitting here listening to the servants of the Lord spoon feed you what you need to do to get started in the Bible, how disrespectful, how rude would it be for you to put anything before the God that put you in this position, who told you who you are, who told you, hey, you better than a prostitute, you better than a gangbanger, you better than an adulterer, you better than a pork eater, you better than a crab eater, you better than somebody who gets tattoos. You better than a man that likes to lay with men. You better than a woman that likes to lay with women. He told you better than that. He told you, I love y'all so much that everybody else combined is like spit. That's how much I love y'all. I sent to the group chat, right, and I'm passing to the brothers earlier today, in Romans chapter 8, verse 31 on down. Just look how the brother Paul wrote. Just take your time and really read that. He said nothing can separate us from the Most High. So do not ever put another God before the Most High. Keep his commandments first. What he says, go. I'm telling you, it's ain't it great on this side? It's fantastic over here. I'm trying to tell you.
The grass is green, man.
This is one side that the grass is greener on. Take my word for it. I'm going to tell you. But you got it,
Here come, man. You know, that commandment, I mean, that's why we say you got to cast off everything and see what's evil for you. Because whatever was evil for you, you making it your God. And if you can't cut it off, obviously it has power over you. Let me get that real quick. Sirach 33. You know what I'm saying? Sirach 33. All right. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 33, verse 19. It says, give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend, power over thee while thou livest, and give not thy goods to another, lest it repenteth thee, and thou entreat for the same again. Because you give your power to somebody, now you, dang, man, why I do that, man? I could have, dang, man. And you try to get it back, but you should never gave it that power over you in the first place. Right? So you got to see what's evil for you and take it out, man. Or you're going to be breaking that first commandment. And plenty more, right? So I'm gonna get Psalms 34 and I'm gonna start at verse 11, right? I'm gonna start at verse 11 because David finna teach you how to have fear of the Lord. He finna teach you how to fear the Lord. He's gonna teach you the fear of the Lord, man. That's for my forefathers. This is why you need to search out your forefathers because they're gonna give you wise counsel. And it's sad to say, it's not really a lot of elders that give you wise counsel. They all bugged out, majority. Not the ones that's in the truth, but they all bugged out, man. They looking at us now. They envying us because what they messed up in their life when they was kids, our age, you know. So let's Psalms 34 and verse 11. It says, "Come ye children, hearken unto me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. What man is he that desireth life and loveth many days, that he may see good?" What man is that? The man that fear the Lord. Because if you desire life and loveth many days and want to see good, you will fear the Lord, man. Verse 13, right? He's finna tell you, keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile, right? So you can't say anything. The way I used to talk in the world, certain words used to say, you got to cast that out too. And that takes time. We're not saying that's going, damn, you got to get cut off immediately, but you're not just going to get it automatically, right? Gold doesn't be made that quickly, right? The gold does not be made that quickly, right? So keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Because when you come in this thing, the Lord literally, gives you peace automatically. As soon as you find out you're an Israelite, you find out you're a chosen people of God, you got on fringes, you keeping the Shabbat, you find out there's feast days every month. The Lord knew that Israelites want to turn up. The Lord knew that we wanted to turn up and be with our family and eat, and sip moderately. You know what I'm saying? Like he knew that. He found that out. He automatically send you peace. You have a brotherhood. He send you peace automatically. But once you get that peace, you have to pursue it. You know. So verse 15, it says, "The eyes of the Lord are upon the ears are open." Right. So I'm gonna sit on that, but he teach you to fear the Lord, man. Because if you desire life, you love with many days and want to see good, and you gotta have fear of the Lord, man, and departing from evil, right? So I mean, you gotta abstain from evil, man. I want to bring out another point too. Um, yeah, I ain't lose it, but I'm gonna go to that because you know you find out that you really can't say a lot of things that you could say in the world because you like, oh man, we brothers, yeah, but you can't. The Lord is taking account of everything you say, so you got to realize that when you come in, because you're gonna end up saying something that you don't need to say, put a spirit on a brother, and next thing you know, hell breaking loose. Right? We ain't even gotta say what will happen. Just know hell will break loose. Matthew chapter 12, verse 36, it says, "But I say unto you that idle word that man shall speak, they shall give account thereof in a day of judgment." And this is giving you to fear the Lord. Because everything you do, how you walk, talk, think, I mean, the Lord is taking account of it. Every little thing you do, right? So when you coming in this thing, we breaking it down. Watch what you say. I mean, even us, yeah, we've been in this thing for a while. Lord willing, we start to get seasoned more in this thing. Through the mercy and grace of the Most High, we still gotta watch what we say. Right? Verse 37: "For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned." So by your mouth you can be justified. By your mouth you can die. Plain and simple. You can die. You will be judged. And whatever you say, that judgment will be crucial. So you have to watch what you say in this thing, right? Your conversation has to be holy. You can't be talking about things of the world, right? It's certain things in the world you can't do. When he's talking about, you have to cast a lot of things off. right? But you got it.
I just wanted to get one precept just to back up what this brother is telling y'all, because one thing you'll learn about the Bible, I mean, I can think of at least about 4 or 5 different precepts. I'm only gonna get this one, but I can think of 4 or 5 different precepts just off the dome that tell you to watch what you say. I mean, you got Ecclesiastes 5:1, you got Ecclesiastes 10 and 14, you got Proverbs 29 and 11, you got what else? Proverbs 18 and 3. You got Sirach chapter 11 and verse, I believe 7 on down. I mean, it's a lot of precepts, right? But I want to get this one in Sirach chapter 5 and verse number 13, right? It says, honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. So honor and shame, what you say can bring you to honor. You know, you might be a brother who can, you can say the exact right thing to a brother and his spirit is just refreshed. You know, I know people like that. I know a brother, man, I don't care what you going through. Listen, I don't think of anything you can be going through. Go to that man for counsel, and I promise you're going to feel way different. You're going to feel so rejuvenated. But there's other brothers, man, I wouldn't pay you to go ask that dude for counsel. Don't ask that dude to tell you nothing. I love the brother, but please do not go to him for counsel, because he's going to be shameful in his talk. And he might cause you to fall with his tongue. You know? So I just wanted to piggyback that off the brother, because that's a very mighty point he made. I mean, even the Lord just said, man, everything you say, he gonna see about that. You know? So instead of talking, instead of doing the things that you think you should be doing and the things that you feel as if you should be doing, what you should be doing is binge watching the law. If you are new in the truth, I need you to binge watch the law. Like, what's a new show that's out right now? I don't watch TV shows like that. I gotta think. I don't know. Back in the day, it was Baddies. Y'all like that? I be hearing about it all the time. I never watched it in my life. Like, you binge watch Baddies, cause some of you dudes do it too. I got Facebook. I be seeing it. Y'all be making the little comments. You know, while the show going on, y'all, oh, Scotty said this and all. I be seeing it, man. The same way you been, once you done watching Baddies, open this up. Open up to Exodus 20 and ask yourself, why are you breaking the first commandment? Why is Baddies more important than the Most High to you? You told yourself, okay, at 3:30 when I get off, from 3:30 to 4:30, I'm gonna set my phone to the side, all devices off. I'm gonna focus on the Most High. It's 4:45 p.m. It's 4:51 right now as we making this video, and you still sitting there. You ran the episode back, as a matter of fact. I get to that reading letter. Now, hey, you do that tomorrow, then the next day, and before you know it, hey, you ain't read, you ain't studied, you ain't thought about being an Israelite in 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what the mighty brother Joshua said. And we're going to see how the mighty brother King David even listened to Joshua's advice. Right? This is Joshua chapter 1. And this is something that cut me not too long ago. Right? Because everybody claim they want to be successful. They want to prosper. They want to be this. They want to be that. They want to be the best of the best. I mean, on everybody nowadays, they so rich. You know, everybody nowadays, they all out of town and all this other stuff. Everybody wants to look successful and look prosperous. But what did the Bible say you do to actually be successful and actually be prosperous? This is Joshua chapter 1 and verse number 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then, mind you, he said, for then. If I say then such and such will happen, that means after part 1 happens, then this part will happen. After you meditate in the law day and night, then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. I don't care what it is you want in life. Obviously, if it's something wicked, that's not what I'm talking about. Maybe it's this promotion that you know you're worthy of. I mean, you just know you out-qualify everybody at your job. You've been working here for a long time, but they just won't show you their love. And this is something you really love to do. You cannot tell me that if you get into this law, meditate in it day and night, figure out what the Lord said to do, what he said not to do. You can't tell me that the Lord might not potentially give you that thing you want. You give him what he wants. Contrary to popular belief, even though we made in the Lord's image, one thing he doesn't do is make empty promises like we do. He's not a man. He's not going to tell you, hey, you know what I'm saying? If you borrow me this 20, I'll give it back to you next week and I'll get paid. And then you never see the brother again ever in your life. That's not how the Most High works. He doesn't do the things. If the Most High say, the Most High through Joshua just said, you'll be successful if you just meditate in the law day and night. Obviously, what should you be focused on doing day and night? Meditating in the law. Joshua didn't have Proverbs. He didn't have Sirach. He didn't have almost any of these other books. 1 Corinthians we pulled out of, Psalms. We pulled out of a bunch of books that Joshua didn't have. All he had was the law. That's all. That was their wisdom. They didn't have the meat and potatoes with it. Right? So you have to make sure you get in here. And even King David did that. Everybody claims that everybody in the truth at one point then thought, after they learned about regeneration, maybe I could have been King David in the regeneration. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I done heard that plenty of times. But do you do any of the things that King David did? Right? Is Psalms chapter 1, I'm starting verse 1. Verse 2 is the point. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Right? He gets that from the law. You can't follow after a multitude to do evil. That's a sin. Nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law doth he meditate day and night. Well, wait a minute. I just heard somebody else say that they meditated in the law day and night. Because it doesn't change. Once you come into the truth, you new to this thing. One problem I had was I like to fix stuff that wasn't broke when I first came into the truth. I have a perfect study method where I'm on fire. My memory, flashcards is my number one thing. That's what works for me. Them flashcards get me together. But at one point I decided, you know what? I'm going to just go and try to do this thing over here. And I fell flat on my face because I left off of the thing that worked in the first place. You don't have to, the great thing about the truth is that you don't have to figure out anything on your own. Not one thing. Am I lying? There is not I can't think of one thing in my mind right now where the Lord said, do that on your own. Don't ask me. Don't ask for help. As a matter of fact, he says, woe to people who think like that. You're going to destroy yourself if you think you can do this thing by yourself. Right? And whether that don't mean that you have to necessarily get with 10 other people every Sabbath. That would be mighty if you could. But hey, right now, you here with 2 other people. We here with you right now. We talking to you. Yes, you. You here right now with us learning about this thing. You're not on your own. Hey, we got videos from last week you can go watch. The week before that, Lord willing, the week after this one, we're gonna have another one, another hot one for you. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the comment that I tagged, you can go to them brothers' page, watch some of their videos up there in cold Minneapolis. It's a lot of ways you can do this thing, but young brother, young sister, elder brother, elder sister, you ain't got to do it by yourself. I'm not doing nothing by myself. Christ didn't do it by himself. If Christ had 12 people rolling with him, what makes you think you better than Christ and you can do it by yourself? This is the Lord. He ain't never did nothing wrong. And yet and still, he didn't even kick it by himself. Right? So I say all that to say, do the things that have worked from the beginning. Meditating in the law worked for Joshua. It worked for David. You can't tell me it won't work for me. You can't tell me it won't work for Shemawa. You can't tell me it won't work for you. Right? And the way that you do these things is another key point that I don't hear touched on in the truth too much. I want to go to 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. And now one thing about our people, we don't do anything decently and in order because we weren't taught to. We never on time. They call it color people time for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one thing I knew back in the world when I was on my way to the Christmas, to the Thanksgiving, to the 4th of July, if they said be there at 4, don't show up to 6 because the food ain't done yet. And all they gonna do is have you setting up all the tables. You gonna help you set up crew if you come in that first 2 hours at any black holiday event, right? That's how that goes. Because they don't do things decently in order. It's nothing is ever on time. You lend some money to them. They tell you they give it back next week Friday when they get paid. You ain't heard from that particular cousin in 7 years. That's not decent, and it's damn sure not in order. Decent in order is how when this brother is teaching, when it's his turn to bring out his precepts, I'm sitting there and I'm paying attention. Or I'm turning to the plate. That's decent in order. Now, we both were sitting here fighting, no, let me get in there. Brother bring out, okay, the book of Psalms. I say, no, let me get 2 Corinthians. That's not in order. You know? So you have to make sure things are done decently and in order. Have a schedule. This is something that I started to preach to brothers lately because it's helped me a lot. I literally have a schedule for meditating in the law. I have a schedule. I wish I could look at the time, but I don't want the StreamYard to shut down. I have a schedule every single day. Okay, on this, my first break at work, I'm going to do this. Okay, on my lunch break, I'm going to make sure I read this. But I literally set up a schedule, so it's impossible to do things out of order if it's on a schedule and you're following it. How? If every morning at 8 a.m. you face the east and you pray, how could you ever forget to pray? It's not possible. If you schedule, okay, I schedule flashcards. Like I said, that's my thing. I schedule my flashcards. I work my schedule around my life. I don't work my life around my schedule. There's a difference. Work your schedule around your life. If you know that you're the type of person after you get off work, you're not trying to do no studying, do it while you at work. Hey, sometimes you might have to duck off for 10 minutes. I do it all the time. Duck off for 10 minutes, go do some flashcards. You know, download the Quizlet app. I'm giving y'all a free game, man. We can set the Bible to the side for a second. I just want y'all to really understand how to keep yourself rooted in this thing because it's not easy. Nobody's going to understand you. They're going to think you crazy. They're going to think you weird for that stuff that's hanging off the bottom of your shirt. They're going to think that you preaching against God. They're going to think that you a racist, that you hate everybody. You're in a cult, a hate group. You're just they're going to have every name in the book for you to try to throw you off your game. But if you got your schedule, how can they stop you? I'm going to tell you right now, if you schedule meditating in the law, let's say at 9 a.m., because they said do it day and night, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m., and you enslave yourself to your schedule. I don't care what's going on at the moment. As long as ain't nobody dead, dying, bleeding at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., don't call my phone, don't text me, don't ask me nothing. I'm doing my flashcards. Don't call my phone, don't text me, don't ask me nothing unless it's emergency. I'm meditating in the law right now. I'm praying right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading right now. I'm going over the notes from the call yesterday right now. That's doing things decently in order. You think the Most High don't see that? You feel what I'm saying? How could you put a God or before the Most High if you always scheduling time for the Most High every day? How? That's the first. You could be keeping the first commandment right there. There's nothing else on my schedule that I'm speaking on right now. I use this app called Structured. It's called like structure, like a building, but structured. Structure with an ED at the end. Right? Download that app. And you can schedule anything, anytime. You can do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, however you got to set your schedule. But this is for you. This is your salvation we talking about. You know what I'm saying? This is your soul we trying to save here. I can't save you. Look, I'm gonna meditate in my law tomorrow. I'm gonna do my flashcards. When that notification pop up on my phone, I'm gonna click it and I'm gonna go do my flashcards. But are you? Are you gonna read? I can't read for you. I can't tell the Lord, okay, I'm about to read Proverbs chapter 1 twice, once for me and once for you. It don't work like that. You got to put that work in yourself. But making a schedule makes it easy. Making a schedule eliminates emotions completely. It don't listen. It's times when 9 a.m. hit and it's time for me to do my flashcards. I'm having the worst morning ever, but guess what? My schedule told me I have to handle this. I gotta handle it. That's how you make sure there's no other guys before the Most High. Don't be that brother or that sister who just literally listen to me give you the blueprint on how to make sure that you get everything done truth-wise, Bible-wise, that you need to get done every single day and not listen to any of it. Don't do that. I don't care. Ain't no such thing as not being a type of person who don't have a schedule. Sounds like excuses to me. The Most High has a schedule. I mean, stop me when I'm lying. Does the Most High not have a schedule? Does he not set up everything to happen at its appointed time? He's never too early, never too late, always on time. You got it, Art.
Hey, brother, bringing it out, man. He bringing it out. I mean, it's all about balancing this thing. The Lord don't deal with false balance, right? So you got to balance yourself out in this truth. I want to bring out too, just far as when I say you got to watch what you say. A lot of things ain't meant to respond either, because you know, as soon as you come in this thing, all of a sudden, people around you know the Bible now. That an incident, you know, Satan gonna provoke you, right? Let me get this precept real quick. I mean, he did it to Yahweh Shah, so we gonna bring that out. All right, we're gonna go to Luke chapter 4. All right, we're gonna go to Luke chapter 4. All right. This is the book of Luke chapter 4, verse 1. It says, and Yahweh Shah, being full of the Holy Spirit, returned from Jordan and was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, being 40 days tempted of the devil. And in those days he did eat nothing. And when they were ended, he afterward hungered. Right? So he was being tempted. The Lord, I mean, not the Lord, but, you know, through the hand of the Lord, you know, Satan literally knew how to tempt Yahweh Shah. I mean, he just got off of a 40-day fast, right? So he knew how to tempt him. So when you coming in this thing, you know, all of a sudden now everybody know the Bible around you. So you have to be careful of knowing what to say and when not to say anything, because man, it's a weird spirit, but Satan do that on purpose. So you may be zealous through the spirit. You got to be careful to watch your zeal. I want to go into that too. You have to watch your zeal, because your zeal can get you destroyed. It happened to Saul. All right. So let me get, man, speaking going to a lot of you coming in this thing, man. Let me just get Revelation chapter 1. Let's go to Revelation chapter 1. Right. Revelation chapter 1 and verse 3, it says, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So it says, blessed is he that readeth. So you have to make sure that you read. We're not saying read multiple. You know, I made a mistake when I was coming in this thing. Me being jealous, I was reading 7 chapters already. I was 3 already, then I read 7. Tripping, right? I mean, the Lord was probably like, man, what's this, brother? You know, but I'll pray. Okay, I see you, but brother, no. You know what I'm saying? So whatever how your spirit is, just make sure you read and doing things that's in, right? Doing the things that you read, right? It says, blessed is he that readeth, and that heareth the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein. Because if not, you're being prideful, because the Lord is literally telling you what to do and you're not doing it. Plain and simple. Right? So that's being prideful. You through the spirit, you saying, no, I ain't trying to do that. I want to get into the prophecy. I ain't trying to know thou shalt not and I should, you know. So make sure you do the things that's written therein, right? And reading and repentance, right? Gotta make sure you praying. Let's go to first Thessalonians, because I mean that's fundamental. I mean, if you're not, that's the way to talk to the Most High. I mean, You finding out the Lord's name. I mean, how that's mercy. You know the Lord's name. Don't nobody know the Lord's name. All right. Let's go to First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15. Salakia. 16. 17. Salakia. Right? I go to 16. Rejoice evermore. So you should be, I mean, hey, once you come in this thing, you should rejoice. Once you go through your first affliction, tribulation, you should rejoice. Because the Lord is building you up, man. You should rejoice in that. Verse 17, pray without season, right? That's the point. Gotta pray every day. Can't just pray one time. And Satan see that. You pray one time, now he like, okay, he only gonna pray one time today. He not finna pray again. We good. You know what I'm saying? You don't want you don't want to move like that. So you should always pray, man. Let me get Revelations 3. Always pray and repent. If you're not repenting, you must be Yahweh Shah then. But Yahweh Shah repented. So I mean, you must be the elect, man. That's really, you must be the elect if you're not repenting. You should be repenting every day. I don't care how many years you've been in. If anybody been in here for 5+ years and you're not repenting, you must be the elect. And you know the whole Bible. All right. Revelation chapter 3 and verse 3, it says, remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. So you just coming in this thing, hold fast to the things that you have. And then as through the mercy of the Lord, you starting to go and be in here 2 years, 3 years. Still remember how you came in this thing. Remember how you fell in love the first time you love. Jake do that. They remember that first girl he messed with. Yeah, man, that was the best time of my life. What about this truth, man? You gotta remember, you gotta remember how you first had it, man. When you first got it, when you first put on fringes, when you first threw up your prayer, when you first knew pork was a sin, or whatever the first thing you thought was you knew was a sin, the Lord told you. Remember that, right? Hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. Right? So you got to be repenting in this thing, man, consistently. Yeah, you may not know, you may have a small understanding. Since I said that, let's bring that out through the Spirit. You may have a small understanding, but hey, you got to feel the Lord and you pray more than a lot of brothers. God forbid somebody only praying for one time or twice a day. That's mad. And if you are praying twice a day, get yourself together. It's Cyrus chapter 19, verse 24, where it says, and this was precept was brought out to me a lot from another brother when I was just coming in this thing. And I knew that was the Lord because he kept reminding me because I wanted to know so much. And clearly I didn't need to know anything. I need to know to keep the commandments and fear the Lord and read and pray. Those are the fundamentals. So Sirach chapter 19, verse 24. He that have small understanding feareth God is better than one that have much wisdom and transgress with the law of the Most High. Right? So you have small understanding, that's okay. The Lord can increase your understanding. But you can only do that if you're keeping commandments and have fear of him. And he will reveal a lot of things to you. Because you already know that person who has that much wisdom, somebody out there that's very wise and going off.
Yeah.
I'm going off. They know everything.
Look at Judas.
Judas, he under Yahweh Shai, he knew everything and went off. I mean, off the cliff. Just jumped off. He didn't even think about it. Just jumped. He didn't literally do that, but he jumped off. You know what I'm saying? So it's brothers out there and sisters out there that's doing that. But if you got small understanding, that's okay. The Lord can increase that. But if you keep the commandments, you reading, you sincerely, you studying, hey, the Lord gonna exalt you in due time. And people gonna see that. Your face gonna start shining, right? So hey, like I say, you gotta watch what you say in this thing. Cause all of a sudden, like I say, I have to bring this out because quick point. Cause at work, you know what I'm saying, they all of a sudden they know the Bible. Like they know the Bible. Like it's annoying, but you can't let your zeal destroy you. You cannot let your zeal destroy you. You can't just go in there and just. But you don't even read. You don't even read. You don't even. Then you cutting. Hey man, the Lord gonna get up with you for that. You know, and God forbid that He don't. You know, because we don't know who you are through the Spirit. He may come to you quickly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful, like all the Bible and saying things don't know, no understanding whatsoever. So you gotta be careful what you say. Right. So I'm gonna bring out a count for that real quick. So you gotta make sure you read, pray, right? Humble yourself, continue to ask questions, right? Set up a schedule for yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up. I almost lost my mind. Yeah, I'm finna go to Samuel. I'm finna go to Saul real quick. Salaki, bear with me. Second Samuel. I mean, First Samuel 15. Real quick. All right. It's First Samuel chapter 15. Let me see what I wanted. It was 18. Let me see. Hold on. Go back. Let me go back. Cause this the one where David was tripping. I mean Saul was tripping, man. All right. Let me see. I'm gonna have to go back. So like, I don't want to be too long. Bear with me real quick. Let's see. Is it? Is it? Oh, so like, yeah. Matter of fact, so I'll probably have to hold off on that. But this one he told Jonathan. Jonathan didn't know they couldn't eat anything until they kill Amalek. I forgot what chapter that was. That's not good. Let me see. Hold on. I probably passed it. Let me see. Right. People. I'll go to 15. Right. But let me see.
I think it's chapter 14.
14.
Which specific part you looking for?
Yeah, I found it. Yeah, it was in my face. 14, man. It was in my face. I'll praise to the Most High. I'm gonna go to First Samuel chapter 14. I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna start at. I'm gonna start at 19. It said, and it came to pass while Saul talking to the priest that the noise that was in the host of the Philistines went out and increased. And Saul said unto the priest, withdraw thy hand. And Saul and all the people that were with him assembled themselves, and they came to the battle. And behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great discomfort. Moreover, the Hebrews that were with the Philistines before that time, which went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites that were with Saul and with Jonathan. Right. I'm gonna jump down to verse 23. It says, so the Lord saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over unto Beth-aven. And the men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjourned the people, saying, Cursed be the man that eateth any food until evening, that I may be avenged on my enemies. So none of the people tasted any food. And this is off. And he was zealous to knock off the Philistines, right? He's overzealous, and you don't want to have that through the spirit. Because you end up getting the people to go off, and you can offend the little ones. They eating raw foods because they were so hungry, man. Right? So let's go down. Let's jump down to that. I'm gonna go to verse 31. It says, And they smote the Philistines that day from Michmash to Ajalon, and the people were very faint. And the people flew upon the spoil and took sheep and oxen and calves and slew them on the ground. And the people did eat them with the blood. And then they told Saul, saying, Behold, the people sin against the Lord, and that they eat with the blood. And he said, Ye have transgressed. Roll a great stone unto me this day. Brother, if you want so zealous talking about I may avenge on my enemies, brother, they are enemies too. You telling people not to eat, and they was very faint, and then they end up rushing to eat and end up eating with the blood. So you don't want your zeal to offend the little ones and have them transgress and get the law of the Most High, or even just not know the truth at all. Right? You don't know who you offended, so you gotta be careful with that. But I yield with that.
Come, man, that's a mighty point that the brother brought up, man. You got to be careful that it's really two types of brothers that I see come in the truth. It's the real humble one, and it's the extra zealous. This dude, you would think he was Yahushua reincarnated. You know, them usually the two types. And the thing is, you got to find that happy medium. You know, sometimes you do have to be humble, and you got to be had a spirit of that lamb, man. You docile and you cool, but you do have to have that zealous side. How could you not be zealous with some of the things that the Lord said about us? And that's actually how I want to end off the call, or end off my my precepts. Right, it's just going into what one of the things that the Lord said about us. You know how the mighty brother Paul talked about us. This is Romans chapter 8. All right, I'm gonna start at verse. Let me see where I want to start. I want to start at verse, I believe, 18. Romans chapter 8 and verse 18. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. And this glory, listen, the kingdom of heaven, when you really do your research you do your search through the scriptures and really understand what the kingdom of heaven is like, who wouldn't want that? That's what he's saying. He said, everything we suffering right now, you know what I'm saying? Now that you coming into the truth, you might get into it with your mama. You might fall out with your favorite cousin. Your girl might leave. Hey, I know somebody personally went through a divorce because they was in the truth. Wife just upped and dipped on him because he was in the truth. But these things that we suffer at this present time, he said that ain't got nothing on what we gonna be able to experience on the other side. I'm gonna drop down to verse 28. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. Drop down to verse 30. Moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. You have to understand, you are not here listening to this video. You're not here learning about the truth because you decided to do it. The Most High saw something in you that was like, I want to reveal something to this brother or this sister. It happened to me. It happened to this brother on the call. Anybody you ever see with fringes on, with a head wrap, whatever, the Lord picked them to reveal something to them, right? From the beginning, just think about it. Before Adam and Eve, the Lord knew that on, what's today, the 17th? July 17th, 2024, at whatever time it is, 5:22 p.m., that you was going to be listening to me say this sentence. He knew that already. That should relieve you of that stress. The Most High sees something in you. You got to understand that. You got to let that comfort you. So, yeah, a lot of times we talking about all this work you got to put in, all that stuff. As sometimes you have to sit back and just reflect on what you putting in this work in for. You putting this work in for a God who said, I'm going to put y'all above everybody. I love y'all so much. Not because y'all were more numerous than everybody, but because y'all was the fewest of all people. In Deuteronomy 7:7 on down. Right? The Lord loves an underdog. In 1 Corinthians 1:26, it talks about the Lord don't pick the mighty. He don't pick the brainiacs, the people from the Mensa society. He don't pick celebrities. He picked us. Just you'll walk past us in the grocery store, wouldn't pay us no attention. And the Lord said, that's going to be one of my mightiest prophets. That's going to be one of my mightiest women in the truth. That's going to be one of my mightiest children in the truth. Hey, I named my son after one of the kings who was 8 years old, King Josiah. 8 years old. The Lord don't give a damn about how old you is. If he picked you, he picked you. 8 years. Think about an 8-year-old with a crown, or the crown too big for his head. His head probably dropping to his shoulders. The throne. He can't even really sit in the throne. The armrest too high. He kind of like all the way up here. 8 years old, but he running things because the Most High said, I want him. Right? And you can read about that, I believe, in 2 Kings, I believe it's the 22nd chapter. Don't quote me on that, but I want to finish this off in Romans chapter 8. I just want y'all to have this in your mind before y'all click off this video. Man, we doing this for a reason. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse number 31. What shall we say then to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? Who can stop the Most High from picking you and electing you and sealing you as one of his 144,000 elect? Who can stop? Who can tell the Most High, nah, you need to pick somebody else? I don't like that brother. That brother Shemawah, I don't like how you brought it out on that one video. You got to replace him. Who can tell the Most High that? Nobody can. Verse 32. He that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? You have to understand that Christ was the greatest man to ever walk on this planet. And the Lord loved us so much that he said, I'm going to sacrifice my own son for y'all. I got a son. I know what it's like to have kids. That is a high and mighty thing for you to be able to give up your love, not give up your love for your child, but give up your child for the love of your people. How many people can say that? Most people wouldn't give up their own life, let alone the life of somebody they love, to save the rest of their people. But our God did that for us. Nobody else's God can say that they did that. You have to remember this. It says, who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is God that justifieth. Who is he that condemneth? It is Christ that died, yea, rather that is risen again, who is even at the right hand of God, who also maketh intercession for us. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or sword? He said, man, tribulation. Hey, can the LA riots, can something like that happen in today stop Christ from loving us? Can distress, you come into the truth? When I first came into the truth, I lost my job and my car in the same week. The same week. And it was winter time. It was December. It wasn't right now in July. It was December. Did that stop Christ from loving me? Did that stop? No. It says persecution. Can Esau getting mad, being wroth with the woman, like I said in the Revelation, stop Christ from loving us? All of these are rhetorical questions because the answer is obviously no. No, nothing can stop Christ from loving you. He died for you. You think he gave up his life, and it wasn't a quick death. It ain't like
don't know if his phone died or not. You know what I'm saying? It's really shady. It's really shady. But yeah, all praise to the Most High, man. Brother was bringing it Almighty. I'm gonna bring this precept out though. Galatians chapter 2. Galatians chapter 2, verse 20. It says, I am crucified with Hamashiach. Nevertheless, I live. Yet not I, but Hamashiach liveth in me. In the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Right? And the reason I bring this out, because this is not your life. This is not our life. People think they can do whatever they want to do. This is not our body. We can't do what we want to do. So you coming in this thing, realize that this is not your life. You're living for the Most High, right? Can't do the things you want to do. You can't, man, right? You can't do the things you want to do. So this is not the life that you live. And the Lord didn't have to give us Hamashiach Yahushua. He didn't have to, but he did. And that's love. So coming in this thing, man, right? I don't know how long he gonna be. I don't know if his phone died or not. But Lord willing, you know, you guys was edified, right? You know, brother that's coming in this thing, make sure you read, pray, fast, study. Even the brothers that's been in this thing and sisters as well, right? When they get a call, Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Shalom. Actually, I'm gonna stay. Let me see.